Hello, hello. This is Carla, the crazy cross stitch lady. I am back again, and I've got a few changes that I've decided to make, mainly because of encouragement from some of my fellow stitchers, which I'll mention one of them in just a minute. I was in a conversation with someone, and she didn't know that I was doing videos, and the reason that I had started doing these videos was simply, it was kind of to have a video journal of the work that I was doing. I wasn't really intending on making an official, have an official Flosstube channel, although I had thought about it, but then I kind of just didn't really do that, so I haven't labeled them that way. But when I was talking to this person, I said, do you really think I should make this a Flosstube channel? And she's like, well, yeah, absolutely, because what you're talking about is cross stitch. So I decided to go ahead and do that. So I have changed the labeling on my videos, and I've decided I went back through all my videos, and I have put timestamps where I've discussed each of the projects, because I noticed in my other videos that I didn't always say who the designer was or what the name of the design was. So I thought that would be really helpful if you decide that you want to do one of those patterns. So I thought, well, let me kind of get some kind of a form or a rhythm with these videos, and so I have some guidance, and I'm not just going all over the place. So I will tell you, and I hadn't introduced myself before either, so I am Carla. I live in central Kentucky with my husband, and maybe on the next Flosstube to start out the new year with 2022, because I'm recording this on December 31st, so New Year's Eve. So I thought I would end 2021 with this one, and maybe I'll do a get to know the stitcher video, as so many others have done, on the next one. So I want to start out each video with either a thank you or a shout out to someone, and maybe not necessarily someone who is in cross-stitching world, but just people I feel like have done a really good job with what they're doing, whether it's with YouTube videos or podcasts that I listen to, because you may be interested in learning more about them as well. So I thought I would give props where props are deserved. This first one, though, I want to start with a cross-stitching person, and this is the person I was actually talking to, and she's a very sweet lady, wonderful encourager, and she was one who encouraged me to actually make these more like Flosstube videos, officially Flosstube videos. Her name is Jennifer, and she has a Flosstube channel called the Bluegrass Stitcher. She actually heads the Facebook group that is the Bluegrass Stitchers, and they have meetings regularly, and they sit and stitch, and just have a lot of different little activities that they do together, just as a cross-stitching community. And we have a group that is kind of a breakout group from that group, which is more of a local group for me, and it's called My Southern Porch. And that's run by a lady named Laura. And so sometimes Jennifer she and her mother as well will come and visit our stitching group and be with us during the day, and that's just really neat. And she's always very excited about other people's projects and just very encouraging. And I just appreciate all of her support in our Facebook groups and then during our stitching days. And she's just very down to earth and very sweet. And so if you have not checked out her Flosstube channel, again, it's the Bluegrass Stitcher. And you just check that out, and then you will see information about some of her other, she's on several different types of social media, and so you'll be able to see all of that stuff there. But check her out, especially if you're into learning different ways to finish your projects. She's just really good about finding creative ways to finish her cross-stitch projects, and I think it's been really neat. So please check her out if you have not done that yet. Okay, now next thing, my whips. First one, of course, is my Michael Jackson one that I've been working on for a long time, and I'm making progress on him, but this is where I am right now with him. So you see I'm going across the bottom, and I'm also still trying to work on this area in here, trying to get all this finished up. So he won't be done obviously by the end of this year, but I would like to have him finished in time to enter him maybe in the state fair next year. So that just gives me until maybe the end of May so I can get him framed. So we will see how that goes. But I can't work on him continuously because the confetti drives me crazy. And if you have stitched and worked with confetti, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so I just have to take a break from him, and I thought, well, I'll go back and forth between him and another one, and we'll see how it goes. Now, I showed you this last time. This is my, let's see, and I don't think it really makes any difference which way is up. And I have just noticed part of mine has come, let's see, I'll get it here in a minute. Yeah, my videos are not perfect. So that's okay. They stay in mistakes and all. I don't do any editing. This right here, this is my finish from last time that you saw. Let me see if I can turn the light. I don't know if that makes any difference at all. This is Windrose Mandela. It's by DD Designs. They called it Windrose Mandela, and I teach English, and I about had a fit because there is no such thing as a Mandela. I will tell you that right now, unless you're talking about Nelson. It should be Mandala, D-A-L-A, not D-E-L-A, and that I won't harp on that too much because most of you probably don't care anyway. But this was stitched on, this is a 28 count opalescent linen, and the color, I mean, it's purple, obviously, but the color is called Austraeus. I think that's how you pronounce it. But what I have decided to do with this, you see there's a lot of fabric on either side. So I'm going to trim this to a 12 by 12 inch, and I'm going to put it on, or put it in this project box, and then I'm going to take a string of pearls, and I thought I would just run the pearls around the perimeter where they kind of blend in with it, but you can still see a little bit of bling. I didn't want to put a lot of bling on here simply because, give me just a second there. Okay, simply because I've already got beadwork in here, so I don't want to just do overkill on the bling. So once I actually get that done, that will be an FFO, and then I can show you this as an FFO. But I am completely finished stitching this, so I just have to buckle down and get it cut to the right dimension and then get it put into that project or shadow box. So that's where I am on that one. And then I will put that up on my wall here in my craft room. Another whip that I'm working on, and actually I should have done that one last, but anyway, this one, where this is giving me a break from Michael Jackson when I can't take it anymore. This is called Letters from the North #2. Let me see if turning that up. Okay, that actually makes it a little bit better. Okay, this is Letters from the North #2. I have never done a sampler before, so this will be my first sampler. This is by Modern Folk Embroidery, and the designer is Jacob de Graaf. He owns Modern Folk Embroidery, and I will talk about him in a little more detail in another video, but I'm working on this one, and I am doing this on some material that I got back during the summer during the Silver Needle Cross Stitch Retreat. So this is as far as I have gotten on it. that you can see. And I don't know if the light will help. I think this one that just makes it a little bit worse. Okay, so I'll just leave it like that. All right, so this is done on, this is Edinburgh linen. It's 36 count, and I believe the name of the color is Seafoam. I think it's a green color. I like the linen. I don't like the count. I've never done 36 count either, so I'm doing sampler, I'm doing 36 count. I thought, let's give it a try. Not liking it so much. A lot of people love 36 count. I don't think I'm going to be one of them. I'm going to keep working on it and see if it grows on me. And I can do 18 count Aida just fine. I mean, the squares are still small, but I don't have a really hard time with it. I'm having a hard time with this one. I know it's the same size, but I'm really having a hard time. And I don't know if it's because I have to work it over 2 instead of 1. I don't know, but I'm having a hard time with this. So we'll see. I did not have any problems with the 28 count linen that I worked on with the purple, but this one, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so that's it right now for what I'm working on, and that's going to be a short list until I get MJ done. Once I get him done, then I plan on having a full rotation of 4 different projects that I'm working on, so I'll have a little more to show you. But I will list those projects down in the notes below the video if you want to reference those patterns again. And of course, the MJ one, that one's done through Pattern Maker for cross stitch. That is a photo that I pulled off the internet, and then I put it through the Pattern Maker program, which you really don't see much of anymore. And it did a good job of making it, but I'm looking at maybe using PC Stitch if I want to do any more photographs, because that program also seems to do a really good job, and that is an online program. So you don't have to depend on having a CD-ROM or anything like that you may not be able to transfer to a different computer if you switch computers. So that can sometimes be an issue with copyright and that kind of thing. So I will keep you updated on that, and if I do decide to do one through PC Stitch, I will let you know, and we'll see how that works out. So if you want the pattern for MJ, you actually would have to look up photo online and then put it through the program, which is what I did. Okay, so I want to do a little segment called, I decided I have to be cutesy with stuff, you know, because I'm a teacher. So I'm doing Stash Star. So I thought I would highlight one thing in my stash each time just so you can see it, and make sure that I tell you the name of the pattern and who did the pattern. So I think that would be very helpful, right? Okay, so my favorite, well, it's not Bible verse, but Bible verses. My favorite passage, we'll put it that way, in the Bible is the 23rd Psalm. I just find a lot of comfort in that. And so I found a pattern and it's called The Lord is My Shepherd, and it's a leisure arts pattern. And I can't remember I think I bought it, but someone had given me a lot of their stash, and so it all kind of got mixed up together. So now I'm not sure, but here's what it looks like. Let's see how close I can get with that. Okay. So I just think it's neat. It's got sheep on there and a little stream, and just looks very peaceful. And so at some point I do want to stitch this. I think even as slow of a stitcher as I am, it will hopefully be a quick stitch, because it has words in there, and words just aren't that big of a deal. We'll see how it goes. I don't know when I might stitch this. I may throw it in my rotation first time. I've got so many things I want to stitch and not enough time to stitch them, and that just becomes an issue. But retirement is still a few years away, so I'm just going to have to deal with it the best that I can. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about is I want to give you a cross-stitching tip. each time, or even just a general crafting tip. But you'll hear me say this over and over, and especially for beginner stitchers, I think it's really important to remember that there are no fast rules for cross stitching. There are best practices, but this is a hobby and it's all about you enjoying it. And if you don't enjoy it, what's the point? You know? This is something that I have enjoyed for almost 30 years now. I started when I first started college. I was taught how to stitch by a roommate who also went to high school with me, and I have enjoyed it ever since. And so she gave me a very priceless gift that she probably has no idea that she has given that to me. And so I am trying to pass that along to other people. I have several tutorials on my channel right now, and even if you are a seasoned stitcher, you don't need those tutorials. Please feel free to, and of course you don't need my permission, but please feel free to go to those videos. It's saying I'm running out of space again. Problems, 21st century problems. So let me wrap this up. But, you know, go to those videos if you want. Just use them for stitch alongs. If you just want to sit and listen to Stitchy talk and do your stitching, please feel free to do that. And if you don't know how to stitch and you're curious, go check those videos out, because you may find a brand new hobby. Who knows? All right. So I'm going to wrap it up here. That's pretty much all I have. I'm going to try to keep these fairly short, except for the tutorials. I'm putting tutorials on there about how to read a pattern now. So those will be hopefully around 30 minutes or so each, if I can get this memory problem straightened up in my camera app that I'm using right now. So anyway, just a reminder, please go check out Jennifer's Flosstube channel, the Bluegrass Stitcher. You will not be disappointed. She's a wonderful person, wonderful lady, and she makes some great Flosstube videos. So please go check her out. And I want you to be creative and be blessed, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.